my name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and you guys are listening to Guitarist Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.guitarist.com. It's my great pleasure to be speaking with our special guest tonight, guitarist Damon Johnson. Of course, many people know Damon from his many projects, including the Black Star Riders, Thin Lizzy, Alice Cooper, and of course, like myself, Damon, a lot of people first came to know you through your band, Brother Kane. I want to talk a little bit about Brother Kane, since that's kind of a band where a lot of people first, discovered you. Does the band ever still play together from time to time, or is that kind of, are you guys kind of inactive at this point?
I would say for the most part, Brother Kane is pretty inactive, and not because we don't love each other, and we don't love to play together, and certainly love those songs. Everyone's lives and career paths have kind of gone in separate directions. So, as has been the case, really, I think for any musician that is getting into their second and third decade of working as a professional, you know what I'm saying? It just gets to be such a challenge to get everybody to be in the same room at the same time. And it's actually gotten a little harder in the last year because Scott Collier, our drummer, he moved to Michigan.
Wow.
And Roman lives over in Atlanta, and now I'm in Nashville. And, not that that's rare for plenty of other bands, but I just feel more than anything such a great sense of pride and really gratitude to those guys, and certainly our fans. I get asked about Brother Kane every day, and I love that. And, I'm certainly playing and intend to play plenty of Brother Kane in my solo dates as I go forward, whether it's with my band or on my solo acoustic dates. So
okay, I'm glad to hear that.
It stands into my DNA. Sorry, Jason, that's the last thing I was going to say.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, we'll get into your solo stuff in a little bit. I of course wanted to ask you too about these days, like you're playing in Thin Lizzy. So I got to ask. That's got to be one of the greatest gigs ever. I mean, were you much of a Thin Lizzy fan growing up?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. To tell you the truth, I'm almost surprised that you haven't stumbled across some quote from me somewhere, literally in the last 20 years, where all I would rave about was Thin Lizzy. They were such an influence on me my whole life. In the early years, in Brother Kane, and even in post. Even into the 2000s. So yes, to get a phone call from Scott Gorham with an invite to come and play with the band was just mind blowing. And the unique thing about Thin Lizzy, as you know, morphed into Black Star Riders.
Yes.
We're essentially managed by the same company. So we've been completely focused on Black Star Riders for the last 3 years. And the schedule just worked out this year. We had some downtime. We're getting ready to record a new Black Star Riders album.
Wow.
And rather than be out touring, we wanted to have that time to really write and prepare for this next album. So, there was this time to maybe do some Thin Lizzy stuff. And Scott was certainly motivated to, and it's an honor for me to be a part of that, without a doubt.
Well, that's got to be just a totally cool thing for you. And I'm looking at the lineup as far as Thin Lizzy. I mean, this time around, you guys, I seen have added Scott Travis, the drummer, who, of course, people know from Racer X and Judas Priest, and then, of course, the legendary Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith. Have you guys been rehearsing much? Have you done any shows together, or what's it been like to play with these guys?
We've yet to do any shows. We've been doing a lot of communicating via phone and email. Ironically, I get on an airplane tomorrow and fly to London, and we're going to have about 5 days of rehearsals to get everything together, and then we'll play our very first concert together with this version of Thin Lizzy on Saturday in Germany. And Saturday, maybe it's Friday.
Yeah, okay.
17th and 18th is. I don't have that.
That's next week, I think. But now let me ask you. Of course, Thin Lizzy is one of those legendary bands where you guys kind of what you're doing these days is kind of keeping the legacy going, which I think is a really great thing. But Thin Lizzy is one of those bands where when people hear the name, okay, automatically we think of The Boys Are Back in Town, Whiskey in the Jar. But now let me ask you, Damon, playing with these guys for the number of years that you have now, when you joined Thin Lizzy, are there any songs that you yourself kind of discovered that you weren't aware of before, and you're like, oh, that's a great little song, but I wasn't aware of?
No, I was so steeped in everything those guys ever put out. I've got every album, all the B-sides, all the rarities. I've got live concerts. They've never played anything for me that I was not familiar with and had not heard before.
Oh, okay.
And certainly when I joined the band, I definitely had a list of songs that I wanted to play, or at least talk about playing.
Yeah.
And it was really great for me, because you could tell that they appreciated the fact that they had, gotten a new member in the band that was such a student of their whole discography and the parts and the sound of the albums and all of that. So it's been fantastic.
And now let me ask you, like, from day one when you've been with Thin Lizzy, I got to ask, did Scott give you the freedom kind of come in and play the songs the way you wanted to, or kind of put the Damon Johnson stamp on the Thin Lizzy songs, or did he kind of ask you, hey, play the way the original guys played these tunes?
Well, it's a great question. I never gave a second thought to playing those songs any other way than how I would want to hear them if I went to see Thin Lizzy. And the way I would want to hear them is with those amazing parts that Brian Robertson played, that Gary Moore played, that Eric Bell played.
Yeah.
They're just timeless and special. So it's been really gratifying for me to not only get the feedback from the band itself, but also from the Thin Lizzy fan base in Europe, which is incredibly diehard.
Yeah.
They've been really appreciative of the fact that I've done that. There's no way that I'm going to play the second solo in Jailbreak better than Brian Robertson did. There's no way. So, it's a labor of love for me to sit with those records and those albums and revisit those parts and particularly the parts that are just very thematic. They're just timeless,
Yeah.
But that's what I would want to hear, so that's how I play it.
And I'd imagine, being a guy that grew up on this stuff, it must be the ultimate dream, like to be up there playing with Scott Gorham, the guy that wrote a lot of his stuff, and played on a lot of those original albums.
Well, it's definitely that, and very quickly I recognized what an incredible, just a rock star Scott is. He's still got that swagger that he's always had. He's a special player, and he's very gracious as far as the stage. He wants me right up front, hanging over the monitors, guitar in the face of the crowd. He's never had any ego about that. He's given me such a platform and been very gracious with, it's done so much for my profile.
Yeah. And I think that's why he's been able to carry on with Thin Lizzy as successfully as he has, because first of all, he surrounded himself with other musicians that are equally as talented, and that's also further proof to me of just how great these Thin Lizzy songs are. But you can get kind of an all-star line of what he's got, and anybody can pretty much come in that is a decent musician and play these songs. That just shows you how great these songs really are.
Well, I agree with you, Jason. I agree with you.
Yeah. And I just want to talk a little more about Thin Lizzy. Like you were mentioning earlier, that the fan base throughout Europe is just huge, obviously. Is there any chance that we'll get to see any of you guys doing these anniversary shows here in the U.S., or is it primarily in Europe at this point?
At this point, it's primarily in Europe. I would never say never.
Yeah, I hear you, but that's just business.
But, Thin Lizzy was never quite the entity in America that it is in Europe. We did a tour with Judas Priest in the United States in 2011, and we did a handful of dates in 2012, minimal dates. And, the rest of the time we've been across the pond. And then, early 2013, we went right into Black Star Riders. And to be honest with you, man, that's really been the focus for Scott and myself and for Ricky. And, we've been incredibly, certainly blown away and maybe even surprised, man, at the success that we've had with Black Star Riders. It is a testament to the Thin Lizzy legacy. I mean, we've definitely evolved into our own sound now after 2 records, and that's going to even continue on the new album.
Yeah.
But without Phil Lynott, really and truly, we are a tribute band to Phil, because Phil was Thin Lizzy. He wrote those songs. He sang those songs. He lived those songs. He's iconic on the level of a Johnny Cash or somebody like that. He's an icon. So, Scott has played those songs his whole life, and it's just great for me and Jimmy and Robbie and Ricky that he's so committed to making new music and moving in a new direction. So we're proud of that. We're honored.
And I think that's why fans have been so accepting of this, because years ago, before this lineup got together, they actually had Thin Lizzy with John Sykes, and it just did not, even as great of a singer and everything as John Sykes is, it did not have the success that this lineup has had. And I think part of a reason, people are thinking, this is John Sykes trying to be Phil Lynott, and anybody trying to fill those shoes, or just no matter how great of a singer you might be, those are shoes that are too big to fill. I think that's why this thing with Black Star Riders works. I mean, it's original music. You guys are kind of, like you said, you're keeping the Lizzy legacy going, but you're not. That's why I think, if you try to call this Thin Lizzy with Ricky Warwick, it might not work. But people know that, hey, these are the guys that are just keeping the legacy going, but they got their own original thing going at the same time.
Well, you've touched on 2 or 3 things there. First of all, John Sykes is definitely an incredible talent, and I have to give a lot of credit to management.
Yeah.
We had new management once Ricky and I joined the band. They've really done a masterful job in kind of guiding this whole thing. And Ricky certainly would have done an incredible job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt.
as he had, and he would as a songwriter, because Ricky's a proper songwriter in his own right.
Yeah.
But he'd be the first guy to say, as the fans have, it's not the same. You can't, and Ricky always says it best, he goes, look, man, you can never fill those shoes. You can't stand in Phil Lynott's shoes. You can only stand next to them.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done a great job of. He sang those songs. Whenever we have performed this Thin Lizzy, he sings them with more heart and more soul and more conviction than anyone on the planet can do.
It was
the perfect thing to happen for it to change to Black Star Riders, because now these great lyrics that Ricky writes and these songs that he and I and Scott have written together, they're going to get a lot more
attention
of a fair shake.
Yeah.
Than if they were Thin Lizzy songs, because we could write. You know what I'm saying, man? We could write Dark Side of the Moon and put it out and it'd be that good, but it would never compare to The Boys Are Back in Town if it was called Thin Lizzy.
I think too, like you're saying, that's why with Black Star Riders, doing your own original thing, can you imagine putting this stuff out as Thin Lizzy, and basically what you would get is, hey, this is great stuff, but, I don't think Phil Lynott would put stuff out like this. This doesn't sound like what he would do. And again, as great as it might be, that's why I think you guys are getting a much more fair shake with Black Star Riders. And I was curious, when you guys do these Black Star Rider shows, I imagine you still throw in a Thin Lizzy tuner, but you're primarily concentrating on the new stuff, correct?
Well, we throw in a couple. We've really decreased the number that we play, and it's not because we don't love and enjoy playing those songs.
Yeah.
Black Star Rider forged into its own thing, and it's pretty incredible if you think about it. I don't know of another example, really, in rock history, of a band that was an established brand.
Yeah.
Records in the stores, tickets selling to fans, playing the festivals, doing tours, making money, that would go, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to start out with a brand new name and a different sound, and we're going to do something different. It's unprecedented. So, for us to have some success, for us to be growing our fan base, and to be educating the rock public that it even exists, it's a real testament to the strength of the band, and we're certainly very proud of that.
And let me ask you, in regards to Black Star Riders, you said that pretty soon you guys will get to work on a third album. Now, when you guys start recording, do you all meet up like in the same studio, being that you all live different parts of the world, or do you all come together? Or do you do it the modern way, kind of sends their parts, records their parts separately, and patches it together?
The way it works with us is for the bulk of the material, Ricky and I get going together.
Oh, okay.
He'll come here to my house, or I'll fly to California to his, and we'll spend a week together and flesh out a batch of material to at least have somewhere to start. Scott will send in some stuff from England, and Ricky and I will work on that some. On the new album, even Jimmy and Robbie have been sending in some stuff that sounds really cool. And then, about 2 or 3 weeks before we're ready to go in and actually record, we'll get in a room together and start batching out all these ideas. And, bring our producer, Nick Raskulinix, in. He'll make some notes and go, yeah, man, out of these 20 ideas, here's the 10 that I feel the strongest about. And, we'll have a few debates and maybe arguments about what songs need to be in or not. But, for the most part, man, we really trust each other's instincts about that kind of thing.
Okay, speaking of Robbie Crane, I was going to, not to have you speak for anybody else, but I was curious because I know he's back playing with Bob Blotzer while the band's taking, I guess, some downtime. So he's definitely still going to be with Black Star Writers when you guys get back together. Is that correct?
100%.
That's
100%. We're so happy having Robbie in this band. And if he were on the phone with you, man, he'd be saying how fulfilling it's been for him as a musician, to be a part of a band that's making good music, that has something to say. And, I'm so stoked for him. I'm glad that he's having a great time getting to play back with the Rat guys again and go out to some dates. It's definitely keeping him busy and it's been productive. But I do know he's got his calendar cleared for August when we're going to be in the studio together, and certainly all of next year.
Oh, that's right there. Now, one more thing I want to ask you in regards to Black Star Writers. I know in the last CD you guys put out, you put there's a deluxe edition where people got like an extra bonus disc with acoustic stuff. Whose idea was that to put that little package together?
Well, Ricky and I suggested the acoustic thing because we do so much of that anyway. He and I both performed hundreds of times solo acoustic, and now we've been doing some dates together as a duo.
Oh, wow.
As Warwick Johnson, we'll go out and we just did 3 weeks in Europe just this past month.
Wow.
So we're really comfortable in that format. We felt like it gives the fans a really interesting look at what the songs sound like when they're written, because that's what they sound like when we bring it to the guys. We're just on acoustic guitars. We're not, I don't make demos on my computer, get out my drum machine. We don't mess with any of that, man. The song either speaks lyrically and musically on acoustic guitar, or it doesn't. And so it's been really great to get the reaction from people like yourself that have gone, yeah, man, that's really cool that we can hear the songs in that
format,
in that presentation.
And let me ask you, Damon, being that you're such a prolific songwriter, like when you're writing a song these days, does it kind of just depend on what project you're currently involved in, or do you immediately know, hey, this is a song, this could be a solo song, or this is something else from Alice Cooper or Black Star Writers? Do you know right away, or does it just kind of depend on what you're working on at the time?
That's a great question. I think over the last couple of years, I've gotten to a place to where, without a doubt, Black Star Writers is my number one priority. Mm-hmm. So I pretty much play Ricky everything.
Wow.
Regardless of tempo, regardless of the vibe of it. And because I've been really surprised, there's been some stuff that I thought would be an obvious fit that didn't speak to him. And then there's been other stuff that I thought was way out of left field, and I played it for him. He goes, I love that. Let's work that up. And then, we work it into a great song.
Wow.
So, whatever kind of doesn't, resonate in our collaboration, I've got all that stuff on my computer or on my phone, and I'll revisit it. It is the great thing about having so many things going on is pretty much any song that I write or we write together, we can find a home for it somewhere.
Yeah.
In the kind of circle of things that we're doing.
And of course, I mentioned Alice a few times. I know you played with him over the years. What's it? I mean, I'm sure you're a huge Alice Cooper fan. So, what was it like to get the call from him? Going back. When it first happened, that must have been quite a.
It was just as mind blowing getting the call from Scott going. Just as mind blowing, and maybe a little bit more so because at that time I had, Brother King had been defunct for about 4 years.
Wow.
I was writing a little. I was playing kind of regionally a little bit. You know, I made an acoustic album. I wasn't really sure
what was going to happen.
My plan was.
Yeah.
So the Alice Cooper thing came out of nowhere, and it was a real game changer for me. It really got me back into the business and starting to think about making records again.
And I got to ask you, because, again, I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. I've seen the guy play live several times, and, I mean, as anybody knows, Alice puts on a great theatrical show. So, you know, doing a show like that compared to, like, you know, Brother Kane or even Thin Lizzy or Black Star Riders, I mean, doing such a huge theatrical show, that had to be quite a different experience from what you're used to.
Well, it was so much fun. It's just the most fun you could possibly have on stage, because it's always about the audience, every second of it.
Yeah.
In every other band I've been in, you know, you have moments where we musicians can get away with being a little selfish. Maybe, you know, we'll change an arrangement or we'll stretch out, and like, hey, let's just jam for, you know, 32 bars and see what this evolves into, and then you come back to the theme and you finish the song. It's not like that with Alice. It's very vaudeville, it's very Broadway, everything is scripted. Many times there's a certain place on the stage I need to be at a certain time. That was a very new experience for me, and I had a blast. Yeah, such a great time.
And the thing that amazes me about Alice is, you know, he remains so fresh. I mean, after doing it for 45, almost 50 years, you think the guy would, you know, get to a point where he'd be doing the same show over and over. But if you go see Alice Cooper, you know, 1 year to the next, I mean, it's never the same show.
He's committed to the show.
Yeah,
He's committed to the experience. He's never put on a bad show in his life. He's always got a top shelf band, and he's an inspiration in every way.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to ask you about Alice is, you played on this last covers album he put out called The Hollywood Vampires, didn't you?
I did not play on the Hollywood Vampires.
Oh, okay.
I was on part of that. I was on his last Welcome to My Nightmare. There was a cover of a song that I played on that record.
Oh, okay.
And then I was a part of the previous two records, but I was not a part of the Hollywood Vampires.
Now again, when you guys are recording with Alice, again, I was curious, does everybody kind of go in the studio and play together? Or do you kind of like just record your parts and you send it into Alice and he has his Bob Ezrin or whoever piece the whole thing together?
Alice makes different records with different producers. It really gets down to who is at the helm.
Oh, okay.
Record.
Yeah.
The one real record I made with him was called 30 Diamonds in 2005. And the great thing about it was the return of just a garage band mentality. We literally rented a house.
Wow.
Brought a mixing console in there. The producer and engineer were there. And we were just in different rooms like a game. And we would just bash out the songs. And somebody would go, oh, I got an idea. Let's double the length of that riff. Or, hey, what if we went to this part right here? And it was more like being in a band. It was like a game, seriously. And it's really a sense of pride for me that album always gets high marks, especially from the rock critics and his old school fans. It was definitely kind of a return, a form of just a real kind of dirty rock and roll style that Alice has always been great at. Yeah,
and speaking about the Welcome to My Nightmare 2 album that you played on, I was curious because he had a lot of his old former band members like Steve Hunter and Kip Winger. Have you ever come across any of those guys like during the recording of that album, or again, was it kind of just you recorded different songs at different times?
Different songs at different times. He made that record in 3 or 4 different studios, and it just depended on who was where at what time. But I'm certainly friends with all those guys you just mentioned, particularly Steve Hunter and Kip Winger.
Oh, Steve! He's always been. I felt he's always been a very underrated guitar player. I mean, he's got a lot of great solo albums. He put one out not too long ago called the Manhattan Project or something like that, which is a great instrumental stuff. And he's got guys like Marty Friedman and Jason Becker. So he's a guy that people, if they're like fans of guitar type music, should really check out.
Steve Hunter's a legend. I love Steve Hunter. I cannot say enough great things about Steve. What a beautiful human being he is, and what a beautiful player he is. A great, great player. It was easily one of the highlights of my time with Alice Cooper to actually be in a band with Steve and do a proper tour with him. I learned so much from Steve, and so grateful to have that experience and those memories. I keep in touch with Steve to this day.
Yeah, a lot of people may not know he also played on an album back in 1991 with David Lee Roth called Little Ain't Enough, which was kind of a bluesy type of record for Roth, but Steve's got some great playing on that as well. Now,
I always tell people, just Google Steve Hunter, go to iTunes, and anything that guy's on, check it out, because he's very, very special.
I have to agree. Now, before I let you go, because Chip would kill me if we didn't get into talking about your new solo CD, Echo. I was curious now, Echo, is that the name of the album, or is that what you're calling the band? Talk a little bit about that.
So Echo's the name of the EP.
Okay.
Echo is the name to represent these 5 songs. I knew I wanted to put out an EP. One, I had limited time.
Yeah.
2, I had limited budget because I kind of self-produced this whole thing, or executive produced. So executive producer is usually the guy writing the check.
Yeah. Now, is this a true solo EP that you're playing all the instruments in that, or do you have other musicians on this as well?
Well, other than my rhythm section, I played every instrument. All the guitars, keyboards, percussion, lap steel, pedal steel, just whatever the song called for. But my great friends, Jerry Pope on drums and Tony Nagy on bass, came in, and we really knocked the whole thing out pretty quickly.
And
that was the other reason I wanted to bring in some talent to help me finish it.
And let me ask you, what was that like to play the, do you just record where you're playing the bulk of instruments, like, of course, for the rhythm parts, like you said. Is that something you've kind of always done, or is this something that's, different for you?
I guess in a way I've kind of always done that. When you really get down to it, these are just rock and roll songs, and that's all I've wanted to do my whole career. And I've spent so much time on my instrument and other instruments like the bass or the piano, and that I can kind of express myself in the way that I want to get the song across or make the song sound good. If I don't, I live in Nashville, man. You can thump a quarter in any direction and hit a badass musician anywhere.
Yeah, I hear a lot of the rock guys, especially a lot of '80s guys, are moving to Nashville. I mean, I hear Tom Kiefer, Jeff LaBar, John Corabi. A lot of those guys are down there, and they call it Music City, I think. So it must be just amazing, being in Nashville these days.
Well, we don't necessarily hang out together, but we do all run into each other at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Often. So it's a great place to live. It's a great place for my wife and I to have our kids and have them in school here. We love it here very much. And
I imagine doing this solo project, Echo, it's got to be kind of liberating this in the sense that it's not a Black Star Riders record. It's not an Alice Cooper record you're playing on. So there's not really any preconceived notion of what it should sound like. You can kind of just go in and record, like any 5 songs you want to put on this, and this is Damon Johnson, 2016.
Well, I gave a lot of the steering the ship over to Nick Ratchulidis, my producer, because Nick is such a badass. He did an amazing Killer Instinct album, Black Star Riders, and it was his phone call that really instigated this whole thing. So
wow.
He offered up his time in his studio, and but I guess more than feeling liberated, I just feel like I'm putting on an old leather jacket that I haven't worn in a long time. Standing behind the microphone with an electric guitar in my hand and a great band behind me. It just feels great to do that. I'm incredibly fulfilled being a guitar player in Black Star Riders. But even Ricky and Scott were very encouraging for me to make this solo stuff, and it's great to have that kind of enthusiasm from the guys that you work with, and spend so much time on the road together with. I'm really in a great place, and very, very appreciative to all these people around me.
And as far as Damon Johnson fans that want to go out and get the Echo CD, can they get physical copies of the CD? Is it just available digitally?
Absolutely. All they got to do is go to my website, damonjohnson.com.
Okay.
Every physical copy that we send out has been autographed. You can even communicate, and we can I can personalize it. There's a lot of great stuff on my site. All my past albums are there. A lot of great news and updates. I'm fairly active on social media, my Twitter and my Facebook, and the physical copy is there, or you can certainly download it at iTunes or on Apple Music and Spotify, or just steal it, man. I don't care. Make sure you listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I got to ask you. I think you touched on this earlier in the interview. In regards to the new solo CD, will we be getting any live dates in support of it?
Yeah. The plan is we're doing this handful of Thin Lizzy Festival June and July. We're in the studio with Black Star Riders in August. And in September, October, November, I absolutely plan to be out doing some days with my band.
And is the plan to just kind of do some headlining gigs, or do you hope to get like on as an opening act for somebody?
It's going to be a little of both.
That's great.
That's the plan right now. You know, as soon as I have those days together, they're going to be posted on my website. You know, all the social media outlets.
And I think it's cool too. Like if you said, if you could go out and do some of these solo dates, and also include some of the Brother Kane material, because even though you guys have been inactive for a while, I think it's a great way to keep that music out there and remind people, hey, there's once this little band that I got my start in.
Jason, my band and I played a show in Birmingham, Alabama in March, and the show was over 2 hours.
Wow.
I think I played 10 Brother Kane songs. We did Thin Lizzy, we did all the songs on the new EP, and we did a Alice Cooper medley that lasted about 12 minutes. It's just insane.
Oh, that's great, because that's your whole legacy right there. I mean, tell people this is a little bit of everything I've done. And now, I guess it depends on how these shows sell and all that. But once you do some of these live shows, have you given any consideration, maybe like recording a show for like a live DVD or CD or something like that?
Man, you're a psychic.
Yeah.
It's already in the can.
Wow, I love that.
We recorded that show in Birmingham. I have absolute 100% intent to release that. I got to get some time to get in the studio.
I hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Well,
I get in the studio, clean up some parts, and get it mixed. But man, I appreciate all of this, Jason. Thank you for talking about.
Oh yeah, well as you can tell, not only am I a guy who does my homework, but I'm a Damon Johnson fan myself, so I'm well aware of everything you've done, Damon, and I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I can't really let you know enough how grateful I am for that, and I haven't had a chance to hear the new CD, but I plan to. So once I get a chance to hear it in its entirety, I'd like to talk to you again, and that way maybe we can talk more in detail about the Echo CD.
It would be my pleasure, Jason. You just hit up Chip anytime, man. I'd love to talk to you, and thank you again for your time today.
Okay, and feel free to keep my contact info, and anytime you need to reach out to me for anything, I'm more than glad to help you out, my friend. So take care and keep in touch.
Brother. I appreciate that.
Okay, bye, Damon. Thanks so much.
All right, we'll talk soon, Jason.
Okay, bye.
Bye.